Hey everybody, it's Mark with Mark's Home Hobbies. How's everybody doing? I'm doing just fine. Now what you're looking at here is it's a big pile of junk. Uh, no, it's actually audio gear. I'll try to tell you what it all is here. This here is a homemade foot switch that I made that controls this box here, or it controls this box here, or it controls this box here, or it controls this box here. And it has three different buttons. One, two, and you're asking yourself, where's the third one? It's right here. This big thing in the center is a button too. So, yeah. And then there's the little lamp that I found in the garbage. Somebody threw that away. I don't know why they would have did that, but and the little recording box on top, they threw that away too. Not the same person even, but oh yeah, people throw away some good stuff, I'll tell you. You just gotta be riding around on your bike, I guess, to find it. But that's a whole nother video. And you can find it in my videos there in my e-bike series. You can see when I found the amp. I'll go through the gear here. This right here is a trip light 12 outlet 30 amp surge protector breaker deal. This right here is a big old pile of wires that you use to connect everything up, 1/4 inch mostly. And this here's a interface for a guitar, USB. Although on my computer over here, the Lenovo, hooked to a little 6-channel mixer board, I have an M Audio transit audio input interface, USB, 32-bit. I wish I had the 64-bit deal, but I don't. That's the only one I have. But anyways, all these things have interfaces built into them. This right here is a TC Helicon voice live, yeah, voice live play. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, and you can sing, put your voice through it, and it does like 3-part harmony and pitch correction, and has delay and all kinds of neat stuff. You can play around with that thing for a long time. And this right here is the Digitech Trio Plus, which is kind of like a band in a box. It has like a drummer and a bass player built into it. Even though I'm a bass player, I play a little bit of guitar. So when I want to create songs, I can strum some guitar parts into this baby, and it will create some kind of interesting bass stuff for me and drums. Yeah. And then there's this beast over here. My lovely wife bought me this for a present for my birthday, I want to say, or for Christmas a few years back, and I haven't really used it too much live. It's a lot to set it up, and it has an 8-track recorder built into it right there. You can see it. This, by the way, is the Digitech BNX3 bass processor system. And it has a looper built right into it, and it has a bunch of effects, you know, delay, chorus, bass, synthesizer stuff. Yeah, you know, it's pretty old, but it works pretty good. Plus, it has an expression pedal over here, too, and it has tons of outputs, you know, and microphone you can plug into it, and standard XLR microphone has inputs, outputs, stereos, drum parts only out, you know, has a drum machine built into it. Yeah, as does this one here. It has a drum machine. I'll get into these effects a little bit more down the road here. I'm trying to set all this up so I can use it, you know, in conjunction with some other studio equipment I have set up here. Some lighting and green screen. And, yeah. Camera's back over there. Got some other gear getting ready to get set up. Yeah, so I'm going to turn this into a little studio here so I can do some better production work for all you fine subscribers and other folks that just happened upon my channel. If you do that, just happened upon it, thanks a lot. I don't know how you found me, but I appreciate it. If you're watching this far, that's great. I'm glad. Welcome aboard. Click subscribe. The rest of you that are watching, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I don't charge anything. I don't have any subscriptions or, you know, any of that because I'm just a little channel. But if you would click the like, thumbs up, and maybe subscribe. You never know what I'm going to post on here in good old Mark's Home Hobbies. So I try to give everybody a little variety of stuff. I'll give some examples of, me playing guitar and creating songs and things like that, and how to use all this gear. I don't really know how to use too much of it myself, but I know a little bit about it, so we can set it up and do some basic stuff. And we'll get some keyboard going. I got a keyboard over there. I got a MIDI keyboard also, M audio keyboard that I can set up. I have the stand for it over there. And so we can set the keyboard up and get my bass guitar down here. We got drum machines. We'll have us a band right down here. It'll be great. So anyways, the title of this episode will be my gear collection, I guess. I have more than this too, but some of it, I have smaller pedals and all that stuff, but I really don't use those at all. This stuff here I use once in a great while. You can tell this one's here is pretty dusty. I got to clean it up. All this stuff is dusty. I got to blow it off and clean it up. It's all closet queens. We're digging her out here, and we're going to set us up a nice little studio, if you know what I mean. And we're going to use some of this junk over here. We got a little computer over here that we can use for, setting up, and it's all set up into the mixer over here. Show you how I got it. This is your main output right here, which goes down to there's a subwoofer system down there, little stereo, so you can hear it. And then this right here is the output coming out of the M audio transit, so it can be mixed either into this output going over there, or it can be sent somewhere else. If I want to send it to the computer or something like that, I can do that very easily too, because it's already got an input into the computer, because this output also it's the input of the M audio transit. So this is just a routing machine right here. One side goes into the input and one side goes into the output. So and then they both come in here and they get mixed, and you can send 2-track audio. You can come out of these little phono jacks here and go wherever you want with that, or you can route through the computer to your podcast or whatever you want. Then you can control the volume of it right here, or you can use the volume control on the computer too. And you got another audio source right there, I guess. And then I'm using a little HD webcam that I picked up for a couple bucks at the local flea market a few months back. I've only got Wi-Fi down here right now, so I really have to get off my duff and run a giant long Ethernet cable all the way from my router, which is at the back of my house, to this location, which is about 3/4 of the way at the front of the house. So I don't have any cables that long right now, and I don't think a 50-footer is going to even get it. So I have to need about a 60-footer to get where I got to go. So it's either that or I got to install a Ethernet hub, which I really don't want to do. It's just another device that's on all the time. It just draws, vampire device that draws power for very little gain. So better just to run the cable. So there's that. Anyways, and then I got a box of cords and miscellaneous video and audio gear and stuff like that. There's another guitar cord down there. I got my gig bag is down there. I have that nice light up there too that I just rigged up so I can really get some light down here when I need it. I'm not running a light right now. I'm just running these crummy ceiling lights here. They're just LEDs. They don't really do a very good job, but with this camera they're not bad. But with the other camera that I have way back there, it's too dark. So too dark. But anyway, this nice little lamp right here. It's a Laney. It has some interesting controls on it. It has one that's called Crunch. Wonder what that does. And then it has a CD and it has a headphone output too. Plug that in, it disables the little 8-inch Celestian speaker, I believe it is, in there. It's one of those British ones with the Union Jack on there. So yeah, it's a nice little amp. I don't know why someone would throw it in the trash. It has some, like, bite marks or something out of the back of it, like a dog was chewing on it or something. But all you do is take some black paint and paint it up a little bit so no one can see it, and works perfectly fine. So yeah, thanks a lot. That's all I can say. Then this drum machine right here, this thing's old. It's kind of your standard, what do they call it? The TB 808 or something like that, like that type of drum machine where it's got some pretty standard kind of sounding kits, and it has a few different kits, and it has a few little tricks, but the drum machine in here is not bad. That also has a drum machine built into it. Not the greatest, only has certain patterns and certain this, certain that. You can always go on this right here and program your own drum machine right on in there, using some software. Or you can use this right here. It has a lot of different beats, a lot of different pre-programmed stuff in here. All different genres of music. I don't know if you can see that too good, but it has blues and rock, metal, hip-hop, country, Latin, jazz, and it has 16 different versions of that groove, and then you can do an intro to the song, and you can have the verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, verse 5. Yeah. And then if you want a different part in the song, you can switch that to alternate time, which will vary the beat just a little bit. And you can also vary the bass part a little bit down here. And down here there's a couple switches. You can jam that up, and then it has a little mixer board right here which allows you to control the loop volume and the bass volume and the drum volume. And then you can start and stop your recordings and, record into it, dub it in here. And then this button here and here, if you hold it down, it'll clear the previous song. And it also has, where is that? It has all kinds of inputs and outputs too. But it has a little memory card in there, so it stores songs. And then you can load in songs right here through the mini USB. Old, but reliable. So yeah, you just take your USB cable that you use for a lot of stuff and hook it up, and then you can load the software onto your computer here, and you can transfer songs in and out of this thing and save stuff that you've worked on. And it's actually a pretty handy tool for practicing, and I pump bass into it a lot of times and let it come up with its own bass part, and then I play to the bass part. It's pretty. You could probably put keyboards through there too and some other stuff, but yeah, that's a pretty interesting little box. It's not the cheapest box, but I've had it for a few years now, and only used it a few times. I want to explore it more, how to get all the inputs and outputs set up properly. Here you can see that it has a lot of them. Yeah, it has, I don't know, in this box here, this light in this box, can't really see too great. Guitar, return, and foot switch. I think that one is in the middle. And of course this one's over here would be output, the amp into your mixer, and then effects send. Right, that's right. So you could pump this in through your own amp in your board and just use the effects out of your own effects and pump that in, or you can use the onboard effects that are in here and send that through to the main signal. So yeah, it's pretty versatile machine, and you can control it. You can control which verse that you're on. Remember, I showed you the different verses up here with the different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can program each verse up separately, and then by plugging this foot switch in right here, which you can make yourself. All I did was buy one of these little ring jacks, stereo headphone jack, and then I went inside and I followed the instructions on some YouTube channel and wired it up with this jack, and it works. So anyway, you plug this foot switch into the foot switch here, and then you can switch songs or verses. I'm sorry, switch verses like that. And I think this one here, if you hold it down, switches the actual songs. Then this one here starts and stops the looper, or maybe I got it backwards. Maybe this one here starts and stops the looper, and this one here switches on the band or the song. Anyways, that's why I got the book right here, so I can read the book. Because it's not, all this stuff, even this thing here, you got to program it up a little bit, and it has its own menus and its own operating system and own settings and compressors and delays and time and stereo and pre and post. And I'll tell you what, if you can get all this stuff down and still remember how to play your instrument and be a musician, man, you're doing good. Same with this one. Look at all those settings on that list right there, man. Yeah, it's got a knob for each one of those things and all the buttons over here. This one too. Look at all the buttons on that thing. Man, I'll tell you, everything's got a bunch of buttons on it. That's what happens when you get old. Buttons multiply. It used to be real simple. Back in the good old days, you didn't have so many buttons. You just had to worry about certain things, like on and off, and maybe you had a high, low, medium, or you had, in rare cases, you might have fast and slow, or you might have a variable. How about that? Remember them old cars they used to have? I think Chrysler made them where they had the transmission in them. Automatic transmission was a push button, and it was on the dashboard. And I used to think those cars were just so cool, That was like, wow, that's a great idea, Instead of having that ugly gear shifter down there, you just put it on a button on the dashboard. So anyways, I guess there's advantages to buttons too. But I'm going to try to hook all this stuff up, and then I'll give you some examples of me trying to play something. I have a little Stratocaster guitar over there, and I'll take that out, and I got to go over it and clean it, restring it, tune it, make sure the string heights are all right and everything. It's playable, because I'm not really a guitar player, so I got to set it up pretty good, because I know how to play a little bit, but it's been a while since I played guitar, and guitar is a little smaller than bass. My strings are used to bass string. My fingers are used to bass strings, I'm sorry. And they're considerably larger than guitar strings, and I haven't played bass in quite a while either, so I think I'm going to start out playing a little guitar first and chugging through some metal and, doing a few jazz riffs and things like that, and kind of getting stuff arranged here. I got a pile of chords here that I got to hook up. Got one goes into here, one goes in there, that got over here, that has to go, so that takes hours on its own, let alone setting up all the video gear after that and getting that right. And then I got to take that green screen, and I have a frame that is on two riser poles on the side, and so I can raise it up and down, and I can put that behind me there and show some cool stuff on a green screen, and maybe do a few effects once I learn how to work everything. I'm no pro at any of this. I'm just trying my hand, see what I can come up with. That's why I appreciate any support, any comments, suggestions, useful stuff. I try to keep the trolling down to a minimum. So anything like that. Yeah, okay. Well, somebody just sent me a notification. That's cool. I like that. I like when my audience engages with me. That's cool. yeah, so if you have any questions or comments, or you want to know how any of this stuff works, I'll be glad to share anything that I know so far. And you see something in particular on here that you're interested in or that I'm doing and you want to know more about it, I said feel free to, comment or shoot me an email. It's in the About tab of the page. Make sure you leave a comment. Let's see, what else? Yeah, subscribe, share it, tell your friends. You never know what Mark is going to post on his videos, so something different all the time. Anyways, if you stuck around this long, thanks a lot. Remember, like, subscribe, and share, comment. And as always, have a good day, and we'll see you in the next one.